turn this down and we will start this stream. Alrighty. Should be good. What's up, everybody? What's up, guys? It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, man. It's Friday. We got 8 games tonight, so we got a pretty good slate. 8 games, I think? Or not, 9 games. 9 games. We got 9 games tonight. So, good slate tonight. There's not a lot of injury news tonight, so, sadly, I don't know if we're going to be able to, snipe a bunch of plays like we did yesterday. If you guys were in the stream yesterday, we got some really good plays yesterday. The Io DeSumo fantasy, when Josh Giddey got ruled out, we took that cash pretty easily. We took Jalen Smith fantasy as well. That was looking great, and then he got injured, but luckily he got injured in the first half, so it was a reboot. When Malik Monk got ruled out, we took Dennis Schroeder fantasy. That was a sweat-free cash. Gave out some good plays in the stream yesterday, so we'll see if we can find some good ones today. Again, there's not much injury news today, so I don't know if we're going to be sniping plays and stuff like that, but I've already got a couple plays I like that I'm going to share and give you guys on stream. We do have a tennis discount on Prizepicks, which, I'll be honest, I don't know shit about tennis, but it's a discount, so I'm going to take it anyway. So we'll give out a couple plays to use with this. If you don't want to use the tennis discount, you don't have to, but I'm going to use it since it's available. And we'll talk about a couple plays I like to pair with that. But how you guys doing, man? You guys enjoying your having a good Friday so far? I'm sure most of you guys are probably off work, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Most of you guys are probably off work, ready to enjoy the weekend and hopefully make some money tonight, man. Hopefully make some money. It's a bait discount. Yeah, we'll see, I guess. Again, I don't know shit about tennis. Are there any tennis experts in the chat that could inform me? It's a 3-point discount, so it's probably better than not, but it's not. I don't think it's this great discount that you gotta play. I'm still gonna take it though. I can only play $5 on the discounts anyway, so I'm still gonna take it, I guess. Timothy says, "What's up, Noah? Let's cash. What do you think about Spida over 30.5 points? I'm going to the game. I'm a Suns fan, but D. Mitch is my favorite player." Man, if you're going to the game, I feel like you gotta bet overs. Who the hell wants to go to a game and root for unders? That just doesn't seem fun at all. So, I feel like you gotta just roll with the over there. I don't love the matchup for Donovan Mitchell. He's probably gonna be guarded by Dylan Brooks. Brooks is a good defender, but look, if I'm going to a game and I'm betting on the game, I'm not betting unders. I'll just say that. I'm either betting on the home team to win, or I'm taking overs in the game. I'm gonna root for fun. Nick said, "What's good, Noah? What's up, man? What's up, man? What's up, broski? I'm for sure entertained, by the way, because Io DeSumo had a sweating on that pick, then turns it up in the fourth. It was a little bit sweaty, I'll be honest. It's crazy. He finished with 38 fantasy points, but if you were watching the game from start to finish, it did not feel like that, because I think going into the fourth quarter, or halfway through the third quarter, he had 7 fantasy points. So it was a little bit sweaty, but yeah, he turned up in the fourth, cash for us. I felt so good about that play. I was going to be very upset if that play didn't hit, because that was one that I felt really good about after Giddey got ruled out. Luckily, it came through for us. What it do, Noah? Any good Luka props tonight? Look, it's a great spot for Luka. The Wizards are the worst defensive team in the league. Luka's lines are super high, though. It's also a 9-point spread, so there's some blowout risk here. I'm not really running to bet any Luka overs tonight. Would I be surprised if Luka had a great game? No. I wouldn't be surprised if he went off, but where his projections are set at, I don't see much value on any Luka props. Maybe, if I was going to take anything, maybe over 59.5 fantasy. I feel like if he goes over 51.5 PRA, probably goes over fantasy. If he scores 34 points, he probably gets enough rebounds, assists, steals, blocks to also get good fantasy points. Yeah, it's a great spot for Luka, but where his lines are set at, I don't see too much value there. Me personally, at least. What's up, Northeast Pursuit? 910 says, "I need Kawhi to drop 24. Hopefully he comes through for you." Hopefully he comes through for you. Kawhi is on a minutes limit right now, so be a little scared there. He's been playing almost 28, 30 minutes. But maybe he can get 24 points in 30 minutes. A Patreon play is going to hit tonight? Hopefully so, man. Hopefully so. Our 2 pick that we gave out on Patreon should have cashed last night, but the damn Thunder got blown out. and we needed like 3 fantasy points from SGA, and go figure the Thunder get blown out. Like literally the best team in the league gets blown out when I bet an over on SGA. Like that's sounds about right. You bet tennis, it's definitely bait. I mean, we'll see, I guess. We'll see. I'm still going to take it. Again, I can only play $5 on the discount, so, you know, it doesn't matter to me, I guess. But I'm still going to take it. 3 p.m. here, still working my regular job, trying to get some slips in, too. Damn, you must be on the West Coast, then. You only got a few more hours, probably. A few more hours. Kings versus Celtics today. You think the Celtics winning? I mean, they're favored by like 12 points, so they should win. They don't have Jaylen Brown, but they're also facing a terrible Kings team that doesn't have Domantas Sabonis, doesn't have Russell Westbrook, so the Celtics should win. Will they? Yeah, we'll see. Not a tennis expert, but should get at least 20 total games in the match, but Arana S is a dog. Yeah, so I guess for total games, you just want the match to last longer. You don't want like someone to dominate early. Because then if they dominate, then yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know a lot about tennis, but I get what you're saying. It's almost like an MMA fight. Like you don't want, if you're taking an over on a player's like strikes, you don't want the player to get knocked out right off the gate because, you know, they can't get any strikes at that point. So hopefully the tennis match lasts a long time, I guess, for the discount. Noah, what up, bro? I'm here from Little Rock. What's up? What's up, Mr. Katie? Mr. Katie, what's up? Is it discount a trap? I have no idea. I don't know tennis at all. It's a 3-point discount, so like I think it's still good, but you would have to ask somebody in chat because I don't know shit about tennis. Do you like LeBron under on PRA? We can take a look at that one. I want to say LeBron's been going under his projections a lot lately. This is a great matchup against the Wizards. 35.5, like in this spot, feels like a pretty good line. Like I think I'd actually lean the over if I had to pick a side on this prop, but I don't see too much value either way. Luka's been kind of going off lately, and that's, you know, kind of hurt LeBron's numbers, but this could maybe be the spot where LeBron has a big game and Luka doesn't. I mean, Luka is dealing with an ankle injury. He was questionable today. He's going to play, but like maybe he's not 100%. Who knows? Brooks is good, but he's not as fast. No doubt over's going to the game. I agree, man. I agree. I just feel like if I'm going to a game, I cannot root for unders. Like, that's just... Everybody's going to be cheering when good stuff happens, and then you're over there sitting, you know, mad because you want to be cheering with the crowd. Like, when I went to the Panthers game, the playoff game, like, I didn't really think the Panthers were going to win, but I bet the Panthers just for the hell of it. They should have won. They choked that game, but you just want to, you know, enjoy it with the crowd. What's up, Noah? What do you think of Ingram PR and Zubac PR? Let me take a look at those two. So Brandon Ingram's PR line, let's see where it's at. It's at 26.5 against Orlando. Probably not the greatest spot. I want to say Orlando's defense, though, has definitely been struggling as of late. Orlando's typically a pretty good defensive team. This season, they rank, let's see. Their defense this season, they rank, where are they at? They're 15, so they're about middle of the pack in defensive rating, but I'm pretty sure like the last 10 games, over their last 10 games, Orlando's 24th in defensive rating. So Orlando's defense has definitely been slipping. You know, when the Raptors are fully healthy, when Ingram's healthy, Scotty Barnes is healthy, Quickly's healthy, RJ Barrett's healthy, like it's tough to project this team, like the usage, how it's going to be spread out. It's just kind of like there's not really one guy who, you know, dominates usage. Ingram's had good games this year when, you know, Barnes has been out or when Barrett's been out. Sometimes maybe Quickly's been out, but when they're all healthy, I just don't know. I guess I would lean the over there, especially because Orlando's defense has been kind of struggling lately, but don't have a good feel on that one. And then Zubac, so Nikola Jokic is expected to play today for the Nuggets. That was a big surprise we got earlier. The matchup for Zubac definitely gets worse with Jokic playing, but it also makes me feel a little bit more comfortable about Zubac's minutes because they're going to probably want Zubac out there to guard Jokic. And if you look, Zubac's actually done pretty well historically against Jokic. I try not to, like, look too much into, like, how a player is done versus a certain player or how a player is done versus a certain team. But when it's a matchup like this, facing a guy like Jokic, I think it matters a little bit to see how they do historically, whether, you know, maybe they get in foul trouble, maybe they're just not productive. But, like, you can see some of Zubac's recent games against Jokic. I mean, this season, he had, you know, 18-9-1 in 32 minutes. He had 13-13-4 in 32 minutes. He did have a game where he only had, you know, 6-8-5 in 35 minutes, but, like, he's had, you know, a double-double in almost 4 of his last 5 games against Jokic. The one game he didn't, you know, he had 9 rebounds. So Zubac's been productive against Jokic historically. At 23 PR, like, I don't hate the over there. I don't think that's a terrible play. He's been struggling lately, but the minutes are pretty much back to full. You know, he's not really limited anymore. I want to say the Clippers have been involved in some blowouts, which has cut his minutes down a little bit. Like, he only played 22 minutes against Utah, only 23 against Brooklyn. But the Lakers game was competitive. He played 32. The Wizards game was competitive. He played 30. This game should be competitive against the Nuggets. So, you give me 32 minutes from Zoo, I think he probably goes over 23 PR. I don't hate that play. You like Desmond Bane threes? We can take a look at Desmond Bane threes. Looks like they only have Demons and Goblins up on Prizepicks. I'm assuming you're probably looking at like a Goblin line there. I really just don't play the Demons and Goblins. I just don't recommend playing them at all. I want to say the Raptors do give up threes because they're a team that, like, they trap a lot. They'll trap lead ball handlers. They put a lot of pressure on the ball, which kind of forces players to kick out. When they're trapping a lot, that's going to leave guys open for threes. I could see this being a spot where Desmond Bane's left open for from three. But like playing a Demon or Goblin line, I don't love. I mean, again, I've said this so many times, like the payouts are just not good on the Demons and Goblins. But if you can get Bane, you know, 1.5 threes on a sports book and it's not too heavily juiced, or if you can get him at 2.5 at like plus money, like I think that's okay, depending on, you know, the odds you're getting. But I wouldn't be playing those on Prizepicks, I don't think. You like Paolo and Ingram over points? Again, like, Ingram's just so tough, man. When the team's fully healthy, when the Raptors are fully healthy, he's typically, like, not a player I run to bet overs on. That's not saying he can't have a good game, but I think his lines are set correctly. Paolo, I don't love the spot for Paolo. He's probably going to be guarded by Scotty Barnes, who's a really good defender. I know Paolo's been playing well lately, but this could be a spot where I think he struggles a bit. Now, historically, he's been really good without Franz Wagner. Franz is obviously out right now. Minutes are pretty much full. Like, Paolo's not limited anymore. So he's got that working for him, but I don't love the spot for Paolo. And I don't think I'd be running to bet any overs on him, personally. Joker playing minutes restriction. Jokic probably will be on a minutes restriction. Now, what will the restriction be? I have no idea. I'm guessing like 28 to 30 minutes for Jokic. So but that's just a lean. I have no idea. Marcus Smart fantasy over. I think it's a good matchup for Marcus Smart. He's a player that when he gets a lot of fantasy points, it's typically from like blocks and steals, and the Wizards are like one of the highest turnover teams in the league. They turn the ball over a ton. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it on Smart. I feel like 20 is probably a good line for him, but this definitely is a matchup that should set up well for him. I want to say the Wizards also give up a lot of threes, and that's where Smart gets a lot of his scoring from is threes. Like when Marcus Smart has a good fantasy game, it's probably because he knocks down like 3 or 4 threes and he gets like 2 or 3 steals. And this could definitely be a matchup where that happens. So I don't hate it. Valanciunas unders. There's really not much value on Valanciunas unders because they've already, you know, adjusted the lines. Right now, Prizepicks doesn't even have, you can't even take any unders on Valanciunas. But yeah, they've already nuked those lines down. If you were able to get Valanciunas unders before it was announced Jokic was playing, I mean, you got some really good value there. Nuggets players know you feeling they should have a minutes restriction, right? So unders are picking some of their others. I mean, Jokic will probably have a minutes restriction. I don't think anyone else will. the lines are, you know, a lot lower on the Nuggets guys because Jokic is back. Obviously, when Jokic is back, like, he just soaks up so much usage. He takes so many shots, rebounds and stuff that it takes away from everybody else. Like, I'm sure if you look at Jamal's games, like his PRA, like, you're going to see a lot of green, but again, you got to account for the fact that Jokic is back. I think the lines are kind of adjusted where they should be on these guys. Peyton Watson, I was kind of looking at, like 20.5 PRA. Like, that looks solid still. Like, I don't think his role changes too much with Jokic back. Like, there's still no Aaron Gordon. There's still no Cam Johnson. So Peyton Watson's going to play a ton. Like, I actually don't mind taking the over on Peyton Watson PRA at 20.5. But yeah, the you know, regular Nuggets guys, you know, Jamal, Watson, you know, those guys are going to play normal minutes. I don't think they'd be limited. Let me go ahead and give out a couple plays though, so that we can pair that with this tennis discount. So, first prop I like for tonight is on Oso Iguodala, and I like him for more than 12.5 PRA. His PR was at 11.5. That already got bumped up to 12. In my opinion, there's some good value on PRA here, while this at 12.5. I mean, with his PR at 12, the PRA should be at least 13.5, because he can usually get at least like 1 or 2 assists. But I like this over because it's a back-to-back for the Suns. We've seen a lot of times this year on back-to-backs, they will manage Mark Williams. They'll lower his minutes. And I gave out an under on Mark Williams today in my Patreon. That kind of correlates with this play. So last time the Suns were on a back-to-back, Mark Williams played 29 minutes on the front end, and then on the back end, he only played 18 minutes. Last night, Mark Williams played 25 minutes. I could definitely see him only playing like 20 minutes. And the less minutes that Mark Williams plays, that's better for Oso Iguodala, because he's, you know, Mark Williams' backup. When Mark Williams is on the bench, usually Oso is going to be on the floor. And if you look at their last 3 or 4 back-to-backs. So they had a back-to-back December 26th, December 27th. It is worth noting that Mark Williams did get ejected in this game, but Oso played 29 minutes on the second night of the back-to-back. They had a back-to-back January 4th, January 5th. The second night of the back-to-back, Oso played 27 minutes. They had a back-to-back on January 19th, 20th. On January 20th, the second night of the back-to-back, Oso played 29 minutes. And then, you know, they have a back-to-back tonight. He went over his PRA line in all those games. This PRA line, at least. I mean, Oso's been pretty productive lately, even in, like, you know, 15, 16 minutes. And I think this could be a spot where he gets, like, 22, 24 minutes. If we assume that Mark Williams is going to be limited, which I think he will be. He's been limited on every back-to-back this year. So I like that for a play. And then I was looking at a fantasy score line on Tobias Harris at 23, and I like this as well. So Tobias Harris has been working his way back from injury. He's played like 6 or 7 games now, I think. Or actually, he's played 8 games since he's come back from injury. So in his 8 games since coming back from injury, 28 minutes, and then he played 18 minutes in a blowout, 35 minutes, 30 minutes, 26 minutes, 25 minutes, 31 minutes, 30 minutes. So he's pretty consistently getting like around 30 minutes. This game against the Warriors, it has a 2-point spread, so this should be a competitive game. This should be a spot where we can project Tobias Harris for, you know, about 28, 30 minutes. And if you look at his game log this season, let's see. Minutes. So if you look at Tobias Harris this season with at least 28 minutes, you look at his fantasy game log, I mean, you can just sort by his, you know, top to bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 out of 17 games with at least 28 minutes, he has gone over 23 fantasy. I mean, that's a really good hit rate. Harris is typically a player that averages close to a fantasy point per minute. So on average, when he plays like 30 minutes, he's going to project for like 26 fantasy points. And I want to say these teams already played once this year, and Harris had a really big game against the Warriors. He had, let's see, or maybe they played, let's see if I can find it. Maybe it was last year. Let's see. 'Cause I was looking at this earlier. Yeah, so just his last 2 games against the Warriors, both those games were with the Pistons. 24.8 fantasy in 32 minutes, 31.4 fantasy in 36 minutes. I'm not expecting 36 minutes, but I think 30 to 32 is pretty, in his range of outcomes. You give me 30 to 32 minutes from Tobias Harris, I think he goes over 23 fantasy more times than not. So these are 2 plays I like for tonight. Feel really good about these. I'm going to pair them with the tennis discount. Again, you don't have to play the tennis discount if you don't want to, but I'm going to take it since it's there. So this will be our official stream slip for today, for Friday. Let's cash out, man. Feel good about these plays. And we'll wait and see if there's anything else that pops up during stream. Like I said, there's not a ton of injury news today, so I don't know if we're going to get, many plays pop up, but we'll see. We're still waiting for some starting lineups for the Wizards, for the Lakers, for some of these other teams. So we'll keep an eye on those as well. But yeah, I really like these 3 plays for tonight. I think these are good ones. They're 2 plays, I should say. And hopefully the tennis discount hits as well. If you guys have any comments, questions about the plays, you can always leave those too. I'm always I want to chat with you guys. I want to get your feedback. So I'll give reasons why I like plays, and if you have a disagreement or if you want to say something, feel free to do that too. No, you like Trey Murphy PRA and Paulo Banchero PRA. Trey Murphy, I like this spot a lot. I took his over fantasy. That was a Patreon play for today, 37.5. His PRA was at 32. It's got bumped up a little bit. But he just went off against Memphis. Memphis, I want to say, gives up a lot of catch and shoot shots. They give up a lot of threes. And that sets up really well for Trey Murphy because he's a big-time catch and shoot guy. He's a big-time three-point shooter. Memphis is also a pretty fast-paced team. They're not a great defensive team. So, yes, I like this spot for Trey Murphy. I think where his lines are at now, there's not as much value. But he did just have a really good game against Memphis, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again. And then Paulo PRA, I said it earlier, I don't love this spot for Paulo. I think this could be a spot where he maybe struggles a little bit. I know, he's been playing well lately. He's had some good games lately. I think his lines are set correctly for this matchup. So I'm kind of out on Paulo. Somebody said the tennis discount is one of the best that they've seen in a minute. Well, hopefully you're not trolling. Hopefully you're right there. What do you think about Barrett over 7.5 rebounds and assists? What other plays are you liking tonight? These are 2 plays I like. And we'll see what else pops up over the next 30 minutes. But Barrett rebounds and assists. Let me take a look at that one. So RJ Barrett, his minutes, I want to say they've been slowly coming up. He's another guy that's kind of been working his way back from injury. But since he's come back from injury, he's played 21 minutes, and then last game he did get 24 minutes. Where's rebounds and assists at? I wouldn't focus too much on these games. I would really just look at these 3 games because those are the games he's been, he's played since he's come back from injury. Barrett's typically a guy that averages 8 rebounds and assists per game. Lately, his rebounds and assist numbers have been really good, but he's also been doing this in limited minutes, which concerns me a little bit. I don't know if 11 RA in 24 minutes, that feels a little bit unsustainable. Typically when Barrett plays about 24 minutes, he's going to project for 8 RA. So I think the 7.5 line is pretty accurate on RJ Barrett. But if he plays more than 24 minutes, then it's probably good. But I don't know. They've been limiting him since he's come back from injury. We'll see. Maybe he plays more tonight than he has been. His minutes have slowly ticked up each game, but they've been slow. They're not. It's not like he's gone from 20 minutes to 25 to 30. They've kind of just been a couple minutes per game. Noah, do I have to ask you? I'm looking at the RA for Kai Sean and Cam Spencer. Even though he sold me last time, 40% boost, so I'll settle for Goblins. I mean, yeah, I think Cam Spencer did go under his RA last game, but it was also a really bad matchup for rebounds and assists. They played Houston, I think. Yeah, they played Charlotte. I don't know why I thought it was the Houston game, Charlotte. This is definitely a better spot for Cam Spencer to get rebounds and assists. I mean, he just had 16 against the Pelicans not too long ago. I've said this so many times, his rebounds and assist numbers have been very good without Ja Morant this year. You could maybe, if you took the Goblin lines and then did the 40% boost, I wonder what that would pay out. If you could get 3x for that, if you could take both the Goblin lines with the boost and get 3x, I think that'd be good. honestly. If you don't like the discount, then fade the original line. I mean, yeah, you could always do that. You could always do that if you wanted to. What do you think about Cat Fantasy? That's a play I was looking at for today. I already took his over on 19.5 points, so I tried not to like take multiple players multiple times, or take the same player multiple times. But I think it's good on Cat. I mean, he's had some down games lately, but I talked about this in my YouTube video. Some of these games were blowouts, foul trouble, etc. This is a spot where hopefully it should be a competitive game. The spread in this game, I think, is like 7 points. Yeah, 7-point spread. I think the matchup against Donovan Klingen's pretty good. Klingen doesn't go out to the 3-point line, so Cat's going to have opportunity to score. He's going to be able to shoot threes in this spot. I don't know if it's like the best rebounding matchup for Cat, but like to score, I like it for him. That's why I took his over points. Fantasy, I don't hate either. I think that's okay. Is it time to take Ayton under points? Like, eventually DeAndre Ayton has to have a good game, right? Like, he's not going to be this bad. If there was ever a spot for Ayton to finally get going, like, this would be the spot against the Wizards. Terrible defense. Gives up a ton of points in the paint. But he's had good matchups recently, and he's sucked in those, so who knows? I'm just like, I'm out on DeAndre Ayton, man. Like, if he has a great game tonight, good for him. I just can't do it. I know that if I were to take his under, I know he would go off if I took his under. So I'm just not, I'm not touching it. The tennis discount's minus 350 on FanDuel. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. What do you think about Moody points line or points and rebounds? I don't love this spot for Moody. Moody's a player that a lot of his scoring comes from threes. And I want to say the Pistons have been very good not giving up threes this year. Let me pull that up, though, real quick. But off the top of my head, pretty sure they're like a good team at not giving up threes. So this year, 3-point attempts allowed per game. Pistons are 11th fewest, so not too bad. 3-pointers made per game. They're giving up the 7th fewest 3-pointers made per game. He has been playing well lately, I know. He's had some good games lately. But Utah was like a great matchup for him because Utah gives up so many. I think Utah gives up the most threes in the league. So, like, it's not surprising he did well against Utah. In this spot, like, I feel like his lines are set right. I wouldn't be running to bet any Moses Moody overs, personally, me, at least. Yo, what's up? I was close to leaving the Discord, man. Appreciate what you said before you ended the live stream. Opened my eyes on how I bad took Levine 23.5 fantasy. Why are you going to leave the Discord, man? Didn't you just join? First of all, so if you're someone if you join my Patreon, don't feel like you have to tell everybody's slips that are in the Discord. Like, people will post slips they like just for the hell of, like, just to share. But you're paying for my stuff. Like, you're paying to tell my picks. You're paying to get in the Discord. But, like, I do see that happen a lot. People will join my Patreon, and they'll just start telling everybody in the Discord. Like, don't do that. Like, that's not what you're paying for. You're paying to tell my slips. My slips are tracked. You know, not saying the people in my Discord don't know what they're doing, because I think some of them do. But, yeah, I wouldn't just be blindly telling people. Me personally, at least. But what do you think about Zach LaVine 23.5 fantasy points? I don't love the spot for Levine. I think this is a game that could have some blowout risk to it, but there's no Sabonis, there's no Westbrook. There's going to be usage available. It's not a good matchup, but like somebody's got to score for the Kings. You would think it's going to be DeRozan and Levine and Schroeder probably. If you got it at 23.5, I mean, that was pretty good because it's at 26.5 now. What's up, Noah? What's your analysis on Banchero getting 24 points against Toronto? I kind of talked about that one already. You just don't love the spot for Paulo. I think it's a bad matchup. That doesn't mean he can't go over. He definitely could go over, but I wouldn't be like betting Paulo overs tonight, me personally. I think his lines are set right. You could probably look at the sportsbook odds. I would bet the sportsbooks have him probably slightly juiced to go under on 23.5 points. Let's see where DraftKings is at. So DraftKings has Paulo 23.5 points. So minus 120 to the over. Like, again, like I just... I don't think it's a play I'd be personally taking. K. George and Brooks fantasy. I'm assuming that's Keyshawn George. Could be Keontae. Okay, we did just get some starting lineups. Lakers will start Doncic, Smart, LaRavia, LeBron, and Ayton. Wizards will start Carrington, Koulibaly, Champagnie, George, and Sarr. I don't think Justin Champagnie was expected to start, so there's some value on his overs. These aren't like slam dunks, but I like this. I like Justin Champagnie over 18.5 PRA. I'm pretty sure Will Riley was expected to start for the Wizards. You could honestly maybe take Champagnie overs and Riley unders, but Riley's still going to play a decent amount off the bench. But yeah, I don't think Champagnie was expected to start, so there's some value on his overs. I think 18.5 PRA is solid. Let's see what he's done as a starter this year. So it looks like he has started a good amount of games. Some of these games, though, he didn't really play a lot. When he started and played at least 24 minutes, he's had 21 PRA, 13, 24, 24, 27. I mean, you would think if he's starting, no Middleton, no Trey Johnson, like he's going to play at least 24 minutes, probably more. I think that's a solid play. I think that's a solid play on Champagnie. Let's see if I want to see if the sports books have changed his lines at all. So let's see. DraftKings doesn't have any lines available on Champagnie. Okay, they do have a PR line at 17.5 juice to the over. So if 17.5 PR is juice to the over, 18.5 PRA is probably got to be pretty good. It's probably got to. Honestly, you could take this as well. 17 PR, because right now DraftKings has a minus 120 favorite to go over 17.5. But yeah, I like PR the most, I think. Oh, it just got locked. Did anyone get that? I mean, it was up for... Okay, it's unlocked again. You can still take it. I think that's a solid play. I do. If you want to pair that with the tennis discount, you can. Okay, they just bumped it down. Here, I've said this before. This happens a lot with Prizepicks. Like their things are automated. A lot of times they'll bump down, and then they'll bump back up, and then they'll like remove the prop. So definitely take it now at 17.5. Okay, it's locked. It's so funny how this works. Okay, it's gone now. You could definitely still take 17 PR. Like, that's solid. PRA I liked more, but PR is still solid. Why did cap points bump down? It did? Let's see. It did bump down. I mean, there was really no injury news from the Knicks that I saw. Deuce McBride's out. Josh Hart's, he was questionable, but he's playing. It could just be like there's other sites out there that put out projections, and maybe their projection on Cat wasn't as high as 19.5. Maybe it was under that number. It's never good to see see a play you put out get negative CLV, but I still think this is a good spot for Cat to be able to score at least. I mean, if you wanted to double down, you could take him over 18.5 points, but again, I try and avoid doing that. I try and avoid taking like the same player multiple times. Do you use odds checker? I do not. I do not. Since I play mainly on just daily fantasy sites, like the odds checkers really aren't beneficial to me, especially since I'm betting mainly fantasy scores. So playing on fantasy sites, only betting fantasy scores, like odds checkers really don't help me at all. Would you take Trey at 39 fantasy score? You could. Don't feel as good about it, but yeah, you still could. I think it's, again, I think it is a good matchup for Trey. You like any Kawhi or Cade props? Kawhi, I'm kind of torn on Kawhi. Like, he's been limited to like 30 minutes. They really haven't been playing him any more than that. His lines are kind of set for that, though. Like, if Kawhi was playing 36 minutes, like, he would not have lines this low. But the fact that there's not really much minutes upside on Kawhi, like, he's going to have to be productive in his minutes. Like, if he has a couple bad stints where he's not productive, like, you're going to be screwed because he's only going to play like 28, 30 minutes max. So, yeah, I'm a little iffy on Kawhi props. And then Cade, I don't hate some Cade overs. I think it's a decent matchup for Cade. I was looking at his fantasy score. It was at 44.5. It's at 45 now. It is a back-to-back, but, you know, Cade typically plays big minutes every night, no matter back-to-back or not. Since I already have the Tobias over, like, I try not to take players from the same team unless there's an injury or something, which for the Pistons, there's not tonight. But yeah, I don't hate some Cade overs, like 45 fantasy, I think solid. I feel like his line should probably be like 47 and a half. You nailed it, Noah. I'll only tell your slips. I definitely listen to their input on Discord, but I'll only tell you. I mean, you don't have to only tell me, but I do recommend people that join the Discord, like, don't join the Discord and just start tailing everybody. Like, for one, most people don't have the bankroll where they can even afford to tail everybody, nor should they be. So, yeah. We taking tennis picks? What did I miss? We took the tennis discount. That's the only reason I took it, is because it was a discount. Again, you don't have to take it if you don't want to, but I do like these two plays for tonight. You can pair that with the tennis discount if you want to. And then we also gave out Justin Champagnie PRA, which that line is still available at 18.5. You could also take that as well. Since he is starting, I think there's some value on his PRA. They bumped his PR up, but they didn't bump up his PRA. So this is a you know, official slip that you could tail if you wanted to. Why do you like Tobias Harris again? So it's really just minutes. Like, since he's come back from injury, he's been pretty much playing like 30 minutes a night, barring, you know, blowout or something. And if you look at his games this year with at least 30 minutes, I think it was when he's played at least 28 minutes, it's like I think 13 out of 17 games. So like almost 80%. What is that percentage-wise? 13 out of 17, that's probably like 80%. Yeah, 76, 77% of his games this year with at least 28 minutes. He's gone over 23 fantasy. He's just a player that, you know, when you project him for like 30 to 32 minutes, he's going to project for more than 23 fantasy. He's also done well in this matchup historically. His last two games against Golden State, he has gone over for what it's worth. So yeah, it's really just a minutes play on Tobias. What do you think of Pods over 21.5 PRA? Again, like, don't love the matchup. Detroit's one of the best defensive teams, but without Jimmy Butler, Pods is definitely in line for a bigger role. His minutes have been up lately. He's been starting. He's had some big games lately, but some of these matchups have been good. You know, Utah, Dallas. He did do well against Minnesota, but I think one of the Minnesota games was without Steph. I feel like this is a spot where Pods could regress a little bit. Like, I wouldn't be running to bet Pods overs, but he's been starting. He's been playing like 30 plus minutes. Typically, when he plays that many minutes, I would bet on him getting over 21.5 PRA more times than not. Guess I'd lean the over there, but it's not a great matchup against Detroit. It's definitely a scary spot to be betting Warriors overs. You took Champagnie over 16.5 PRA earlier today. I really like that one for sure. For sure. Again, if he's starting, and you know, which he is, if starting and playing at least like 26, 27 minutes, he's pretty good at getting 19 PRA. I mean, you saw 4 out of 5 games this year when he started and played at least 24 minutes, he's gone over that PRA. And like I said, they don't have Trey Johnson, they don't have Chris Middleton, so the minutes should be there, theoretically. Clippers or Denver money line? Man, I think with Jokic back, I think the Nuggets could win. That's assuming Jokic plays, which it looks like he will. What's PRA? PRA is points, rebounds, and assists. Waiting on injury news for Tobias? No, I don't think so. I don't think the Pistons, I don't think they have anybody on their injury report. Cade is probable, but that's it. The Tobias play I like. Like, there's no injury news there. Do you like Moses Moody points line? I just answered the Moses Moody question. I'm not sure if that was your question or somebody else's, but yeah, I just talked about that one. Is Sadiq Bey 25.5 PRA a trap? I mean, there's really no such thing as a trap. It's just, you just gotta know, you gotta be informed. So obviously Sadiq Bey's been going over a lot lately, but Sadiq Bey is not a player that you can project for 31 PRA. So even though he's had an average of 31.6 PRA his last 5 games, you can't set his line at 31.5 because the under would just be really, really good value. Because he's just not a player that typically puts up that much PRA. He's had some big games lately, but like on average, he's going to project for around this number. I think the matchup's pretty good though. Memphis, again, they give up a lot of catch and shoot shots, a lot of threes. So that sets up well for Sadiq Bey. Same with Trey Murphy. But I wouldn't say it's a trap. It's just like, it's a good line. Like, it's the right line on Sadiq Bey. His line, you can't set his line at 31 or 31.5 like it's, you know, you can't set it here because there'd be too much value on the under. So yeah, 25.5 feels like a good line. Guess I'd lean the over if I had to pick a side. Jalen Brunson, 26 points. What we think? I don't love the spot for Brunson. Portland's a good defensive team. Tamani Kamara's a really good defender, so it's definitely not the greatest matchup for Brunson, but like Brunson's probably, you know, he's a matchup-proof player. He can do well in any matchup. But I don't think I'd be betting. I wouldn't be like running to bet any Brunson overs. We already answered about Paolo. I don't love the spot for Paolo. I think it's a difficult matchup against Scotty Barnes, who's a great defender. I know Paolo's been playing well lately. I'd be a little hesitant. That's all I'll say. That doesn't mean you can't take his overs. If you want to take his overs, go ahead. I'm just giving my opinion. Derek White do, so his PRA, I may say screw it and risk it, what you think, or calling Gillespie fancy since Brooks could be in foul trouble, or get thrown out the game. So, let's see. Derek White, his numbers, or his lines are going to be really high tonight because Jaylen Brown is out. If you look at Derek White this year without Jaylen Brown, like, he's been really good. So is Peyton Pritchard. Just because the offense runs through those two guys. So let's see. I think it's 3 games. Yeah. So Jaylen Brown's been out for 3 games this year. Derek White has had 46 PRA, 27 PRA, and 27 PRA. But like, you look at the games, he had 27 PRA. He shot 5 for 20, 4 for 12 from 3, and he shot 7 for 21, 2 for 9 from 3. Just horrible shooting. He still had 27 PRA even with, you know, horrible shooting like that. So I actually kind of like some Derek White overs tonight. Like, I think it's a good spot for Derek White. He's been great without Jaylen Brown. 33.5, like, I'd lean the over there. All the people that are betting unders on Derek White tonight, like, I wonder if they even know Jaylen Brown's out. Rui looks to be in a good spot for the Lakers. What we think? I mean, it's a great matchup for all the Lakers. You know, facing the Wizards, worst defensive team in the league, one of the worst. It's a revenge game for Rui. He used to play for the Wizards. His minutes have been pretty good lately. Like, even though he's been coming off the bench, he's been playing pretty good minutes. Let's see. Last game, it was a blowout last game, but the game before that, 29 minutes, 27 minutes, 28 minutes, 28 minutes. 11.5 points. Like, I don't hate the over there. I don't think that's too bad. Rui, there is talks that Rui could be traded, so that maybe they're a little cautious with him. If he's on the trade block, like, they don't want to risk injury. But assuming he's playing like 28 minutes against the Wizards, he could definitely score 12 points. Don't hate that play. I think that's okay. 11.5 points for Rui. Levine RA is at 5, but rebound line is at 3, assist line 2.5, getting some value with a push. Let's see. Rebounds at 3, assists 2.5. RA's at 5. Yeah, you're right. Let's take a look at the sports books there. Get out, buddy. My damn dogs, they're ready to eat, man. It's almost 7 o'clock. The dogs are ready to eat. So let's see. DraftKings has Levine, 5.5 RA, slightly juiced to the over. So that's actually, if you want a plus EV play, that's a plus EV play right there. That line should definitely be 5.5. So yeah, I think that's good call. Good call, Michael. I think that's a solid play. Took me at 30 fantasy points. I was playing, everybody slips in the chat, but luckily I didn't today. But I didn't today. Luckily I hit last night, so I learned my lesson. I mean, yeah, man, just tell my slips. Obviously, that's what you pay for, and then if you want to tell other people, you can, but don't feel like you have to tell people. But I get it. Like, there's a big FOMO, you know. That's probably why a lot of people, you see when people hit a slip, you know, they're going to post it in the Discord, and you're like, you know, damn, I should have told that. But what you don't see is the losing slips. There's going to be losing slips as well that don't get posted. So, just, yeah, don't feel like you have to tell everyone. And don't let FOMO take over. Hope everyone took my advice on MPJ over. That was so free. Had like 70 fantasy points. MPJ he did go off last night against his old team. He did for sure. I'm going to answer a few more questions, guys, and I think we're gonna hop out of here in just a few minutes. Do you like Dylan Brooks today? Brooks don't really like him as much as... Or do you like Dylan Brooks today? Books don't really like him as much as Grayson Allen. I mean, isn't Dylan Brooks coming off like a 40-point game? I think he had 40 points last night. He had 52 PRA. He had 40 points, yeah. I don't know why, but like, it feels like when a player has like a huge game like that, they always disappoint the next game. Maybe that's just me thinking, like, I don't have any stats to back that up, but it feels like when a player has like a career high, the next game they do really poorly. So, I don't love the spot for Dylan Brooks against Cleveland. Not the best matchup, but Brooks, you look at his numbers without Devin Booker, like he's had really good usage, really good shot volume. Him and Grayson Allen both benefit for sure, but on a back-to-back, like, I don't feel great betting any Suns overs personally. Why do you like Champagny? So the Wizards already put out their starting lineup. Champagny is starting, but they don't have Chris Middleton. They don't have Trey Johnson, so they're pretty thin at the wing. You know, it's their forward spot. And Champagny this year, when he has started and played at least 24 minutes, he's gone over 18.5 PRA in 4 out of 5 games. He's typically a player that can be productive when he gets minutes. Like, you could probably just look at his game log this year. So, with at least 24 minutes this season, I mean, you can see Champagny's PRA. 29, 27, 27, 24, 24, 23, 23, 22, 19. So what is that? I mean, well over half of his games this year with at least 24 minutes, he's gotten over 19 or 18.5 PRA. Without Middleton, without Trey Johnson, he should definitely play 24, 25 minutes minimum. And he might get like close to 30. So yeah, that's why I took that. Do you stream every day? I don't stream every day, typically Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I don't stream. But yeah, typically Monday through Friday, and it's typically like an hour before the game starts. So if the games are starting at 7 o'clock Eastern time, I'll typically be live at like 6 o'clock Eastern. But it kind of depends on how many games there are. For smaller slates, I'll only stream maybe like 30 minutes before the games. For longer, or for bigger slates, I'll do longer streams, and I'll go for like an hour. So yeah. But I'm gonna wrap up the stream here, guys. We gave out a slip today. Hopefully it comes through. Again, I'll post it on the screen for those that didn't see it, that want to tell. But it was up on the stream, so you probably saw it anyway. But I'll just post it for those that maybe didn't see it. But our stream slip yesterday did cash, so hopefully you guys were in the stream yesterday and tailed that one. If my Prizepicks will load, let's see. Okay, well the Prizepicks ain't loaded. So we took Oso Iguodala over 12.5 PRA, Tobias Harris over 23 fantasy score, and then we paired that with the tennis discount. If you don't want to play the tennis discount, you can just take that out. Also, another play that I like is Justin Champagny 18.5 PRA. So really, you could do a 4-pick if you wanted to. or you can take out the tennis discount and just do a 3-pick. But these are 3 plays I like for tonight. Good luck if you're tailing. Let's make some money. I'll see you guys on Monday, hopefully. And yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. Peace out.